Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Motorcycle Rescue and Review. Alright guys, I am super stoked to be introducing my next project. This time it is Yamaha's 1996 Royal Star. In this video, I'll give a brief overview of the Royal Star itself, and then we will take a look and go around this bike and look at the starting point for this project. This bike is fresh off the trailer, so you'll get to see exactly what I'm starting with. Two things that drew me to this project were the very nice overall cosmetic condition and the low miles on the bike. Incredibly, for a 96 motorcycle, this bike has just over 1,000 miles on it. So it's a very low mileage example, and I think it'll clean up really nicely. The Royal Star hails from a time when the Japanese manufacturers are really trying very hard to compete with the Harley-Davidsons. In the mid-90s, Harley-Davidson was knocking it out of the park with their sales, and they were selling lots of bikes to the baby boomers. And so the Japanese manufacturers really followed suit with their styling on their bikes and with the size of their bikes. During that time period, the large displacement V-twin cruisers from Japan were really predominant in that segment, and the Royal Star is different than that. Even though it has a V motor, in the Royal Star, it is a V4 motor. Not only that, it's a 16-valve liquid-cooled design, and this motor is actually based on the one found in the mighty V-Max. Yamaha also produced a touring version of the Royal Star called the Venture. Although I have owned several of the Royal Star motorcycles over the years, I've never featured one on this channel, so I'm super excited to get working on this bike so that I can get it out on the road and take you guys along and do a review of it and maybe do some comparisons with some other big bore Japanese cruisers. And I'm looking forward to letting you guys know what it's like to ride out on the road. If you like great motorcycle content and you want to help support this channel, please consider becoming a member. Members get perks like early access to new videos and bonus content on this channel, and your support will help me continue to make great quality motorcycling videos for you to enjoy. And I just want to give a special shout out to all of my members and subscribers and those of you who participate in the comment section of this channel. Thank you guys so much. I could not do this without you. Some other nice features on the Royal Star include the big dual disc brakes up front and the big disc in the rear. This bike stops very well. It comes with floorboards for the driver. Another feature that I think is super cool on this bike is it has 4x4 exhaust, and so it gives the bike a really nice sound. It has a throaty sound to it, and the only drawback here is the 4 exhaust pipes are somewhat heavy. But this is a big heavy bike, and it kind of comes with the territory on the big bore cruisers. Another nice feature on this particular bike is the new windshield in the front. I like the look of that. It goes with the cruiser look very nicely. These bikes are big, comfortable cruisers. They are known to be very reliable, and I see a lot of these with really high mileage on them. So I think the Royal Star is a very solid design to start with. Taking a look at the backstory on this particular project, last week my friend called me up and asked me if I was interested in purchasing this motorcycle. He had had it for several years, and he got it and went through the bike, but he was never able to get it quite 100% running the way he wanted to. Afterwards, it sat for about a year, and when he went to start it, it was running worse and worse. At that point, he decided it was time to move it on. So he gave me a call, and when I asked what he needed to get for it, I thought it was a reasonable price, and I went and picked this bike up. I was able to hear this bike run before I purchased it. It was obviously not hitting on all 4 cylinders, and it needs some work and some tuning to get it back into excellent running condition. Let's give it a quick listen to see how it sounds. Choke on. Ignition on. there you can see it starts right up. It sounds great when it's just idling on choke. There's no smoke, and it seems like all is well. And then as soon as you try to feed in any throttle, it is very quick to die out. Because it is so hesitant to pick up throttle, it would not be safe to ride this bike out on the road. And so I'm going to have to address that issue and get it running a whole lot better before I can actually take it out on a test ride. Now that we've heard it run, let's look over the rest of the bike. Starting at the front of the bike, unfortunately, although the tire looks good, over 90% of the surface of it in the spot where the tire was contacting the ground, and this bike sat for a long period of time, it is dry rotted on the tread, and the front tire needs replaced. Looking at the front brake pads, as you would expect on a bike with 1,000 miles, these look to be brand new. I don't see any fork oil leaking from the front fork tubes. That's a great sign. It looks like this bike had some chrome covers over the front brake calipers at one point, and so there are still some additional brackets that are left up there. I will remove those. And the front fork legs themselves need to be polished out. The clear coat is yellowing and faded in some spots. Looking at the rear tire, again, we have a dry rot spot on the contact patch of the tire. So this bike will also need a new rear tire. The rear brake pads look great, and I don't see anything else that's really concerning at the rear of the bike. As is standard on every motorcycle I get, I will go ahead and service the engine itself. I'll check the coolant level, make sure the coolant is good. I'll also change the engine oil and filter. I'll also service the rear of the bike. This is a shaft drive motorcycle, and that's a quick, easy service. So I will do that for my own peace of mind. Looking at the controls on the bike, I will definitely go in and replace the brake fluid on the front brakes, on the rear brakes, and on the clutch. The clutch fluid itself looks a little bit low. It's not really visible in the sight glass, although the clutch does have pressure to it and it functions like it should. As far as cosmetic blemishes go, the only real cosmetic blemishes are the clear coat is peeling and yellowed on the switch housing for the right control and on the housing for the left control. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to deal with that, so I may try to find some covers for these, some chrome covers. Additionally, there is one rivet missing from the backrest, and unfortunately, as is usual with soft saddlebags that are aftermarket, these have started to really sag. I'll try to find some bag liners that actually bring these back into shape, because I like the way they look with the studded bags and the studded seat. Overall, looking at the paint on the bike, the paint really is in excellent condition. I absolutely love the color scheme on this bike. It is a pearl white and a dark navy blue with a red pinstripe in between the two colors. I think that's really cool, and this one looks really nice next to my red, white, and blue Nighthawk in the garage. It just needs a little bit of touch up on the very tip of the back fender. There are a couple of scuffs there. I'll see if I can't get those out with some polish. If not, I will find some touch-up paint and make sure that those are addressed so that they don't rust or corrode any further. It looks like at some point somebody tried to peel the sticker, the warning sticker on the top of the gas tank, and they did so unsuccessfully, kind of boogered it up. I will definitely remove this sticker and make the top of the tank look nice. Looking at the chrome on the bike, overall the chrome is in excellent condition. There is some surface rust on the back rack, but I think most of that will clean up with a little bit of cleaner wax and very fine steel wool. As I mentioned earlier, the carbs need to be addressed. I'll check my air filter on this bike, make sure that's good and that there are no rodent nests in the air box. Most of my checks and services are checks and services that I would do on any motorcycle that I purchased secondhand. It's going to be really fun to go through this bike and to make it nice, to make it safe to ride out on the road, to get this bike running 100% again. And I can't wait. Can't wait to jump into this project. It is so rewarding to rescue a bike that doesn't run or runs poorly. All right, I'd love to know what you guys think. If there are any Yamaha, Royal Star, or Venture fans out there, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative. And until next time, enjoy the ride.